Do you ever finish an edit only to realize that you're still behind on another edit? And as soon as you get those edits over to the clients, you realize that you have a shoot scheduled for the next day. And then you finish your shoot, you come home to open up your email to a list of revisions. And then finally, you get all of your client work out of the way, wrapped up, finished, and then you realize you have no other clients lined up and your account is bleeding money. So what do? Of course, you begin to start to panic. You start looking for more clients, taking on projects that are way below your pay grade, and you start to feel burnt out, uninspired, and worst of all, a sense of resentment for your career. But today I want to take a second and talk to you guys about a few things that got me out of that rut and that hamster wheel of just doing job after job that weren't paying me enough money and wasn't getting my career to where I wanted to go. And I think that more than cinematography and more than, the directing tips that I have, I think the most important thing that you could do is be in a positive mindset and understand how to create a vision for yourself and how to follow a path to get to that vision and slowly get to where you want to be in your career and be successful in not only filmmaking, but in anything that you do in life. So the first thing that I want to talk about is vision. I think people get burnt out when they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, when they don't have a clear vision of who they want to be and who they are in this career. Me personally, it took me a really long time to realize that years I wasted just spinning my wheels doing job after job, taking anything that I could get just to make money and put food on the table, but I wasn't really going anywhere. I didn't really have a strong plan and I didn't really have a strong path to where I wanted to go. And whether you're in the beginning of your career or right dead in the middle of your career, the first thing that I suggest doing is taking a minute, whether it be a day, a week, a month, however long you need, and really figure out who you want to be in this industry. You should ask yourself, do you want to be a video business owner? Do you want to be a filmmaker? Do you want to be a DP? Do you want to be an editor? Once you establish who you want to become in this industry, you'll start to very quickly see the path that you need to follow to achieve whatever it is that you want to become. Now, my suggestion is if you guys are in the beginning stages of your career, I would say the first 6 months to a year, I think that you guys should take every and any project that comes your way. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one is for the experience. The experience of dealing with clients, of producing, projects and content on probably a low budget is going to be so good for you because you're going to have to wear many hats. You're going to have to pull and produce something together out of really nothing. And you're going to learn so much. You're going to get better and better and better. Now, the second thing that I would say that's beneficial to this is you're going to start to realize that this could be a full-time career for you and you don't have to have a side job. The quicker you get rid of whatever side job that you have that's supporting you and you're able to do this full-time, you're going to start to see a lot more growth a lot faster. Give yourself 6 months to a year of taking whatever you possibly can get to make as much money as you possibly can, to gain as much experience and get as many clients under your belt as possible. But after that first 6 months to a year, I think it's time to start figuring out what you're worth, what your time is worth, and don't be so lenient on that. Don't take every job that you possibly can because all that's going to do is stunt your growth. And let me tell you guys how. I've seen a lot of friends of mine get stuck into the routine of, getting those retainer clients that pay you $500, $600 a shoot. And you get so used to making, $1,000, $2,000 a week that you get stuck in doing that and you don't grow as a filmmaker. You don't make more money. You don't broaden your horizons and go meet new clients and new filmmakers and collaborate with new people. You get stuck into that rut of just pushing out work as fast as you possibly can to get paid. And again, one part of me would say that in the beginning, there's nothing wrong with that. The other part of me would say, this is a recipe for disaster. Number one, these clients do not value you. They do not value your work. They're trying to get just the cheapest possible thing that they could pay for. And in the beginning, that's fine because you need anything that you can get and they need cheap, easy, quick work. But as you're trying to grow your career, if you want to evolve, you have to break away from these clients. The other reason why it's really bad is because it strips you of all your creativity and all your passion. While you're grinding these videos out, you're not thinking about how you could evolve them, how you can make them better and better and better. Chances are you're just trying to get these videos banged out as fast as possible to make sure that you got enough money coming in so you're living a stable life. But this is stunning your growth. You're not able to push the limits of what you could achieve artistically and creatively. You're kind of just doing a job. And I'm going to be real with you guys, there's no quicker way to lose passion for what you do and stunt your growth as a filmmaker than just taking job after job that is extremely repetitive and just soul sucking. So here's what I suggest that you guys do. Like I said, after that 6 month or year mark where you feel like you're pretty good and you've outgrown those clients, it's time to wipe your hands with them. You let them know like, hey, look, I'm raising my prices. If they don't want to pay, you bounce.
That's it, I quit.
And I know this could be a scary thing because you're getting away from paid work. You're getting away from work that is literally paying your bills. And I get it, but this is really the only way you're gonna be able to grow and evolve as a filmmaker. The other thing that you could do is start to hire other videographers and other editors. If that means that you could afford to pay them and make a small profit off of it, by all means. I'm all for the entrepreneur mindset. I'm all for, building a team and getting people underneath you and making sure that they're doing what they need to do. But just remember that if that's what you want to do and you want to build a video production business, that's a great step for you. But if you want to be a filmmaker and you want to make films, I think that that's kind of getting away from that in a sense of like, you could end up spending more time managing the videographers that you hire, managing the staff, managing the clients, managing the feedback from the clients. All of that stuff is definitely going to take away from, you trying to make films. By far, one of the most important aspects of achieving success in anything you do, not just filmmaking, is making sure that you set goals. But here's the trick to setting goals. You can't just say, hey, you know what, this month I want to make $1 million, or this month I want to produce an Oscar-winning film. You can't just say things like that. You have to be able to figure out where you're at and be realistic with your goals. And the trick that I found that I've done in the past is, let's just say you want to make more money. Well, find out your average. What have you made in the last quarter? Okay, let's just say on average you're making anywhere between like $4,000 to $5,000 a month. You should be shooting for your next month to be a $6,000 month. That would be about a 20 to 25% increase, and I believe that that's achievable. And the same thing goes with, getting bigger and better directing jobs. If you want to go out and direct real feature films, you have to take a look at how much time you're spending networking with other filmmakers. Working on scripts, working on the little passion projects that you have on the side that are going to help you actually do this. And I think that it's so important to realize what your average week looks like, what your average month looks like. Figure out and break that down into the amount of money that you make, into the amount of time that you spend on bettering your craft, and just try to figure that out and give a little bit more time and attention to that aspect of your career. And the best part about all of that is that you start to become a more positive person. You start to look at things in a positive light, and you start to overall have a more positive mindset. And that's the next thing that I want to talk about. There's really two ways that you could look at something. You could look at something in a negative way, or you could look at something in a positive way. For example, a few years back, I was in San Francisco and we were on a project shooting for a corporate client, and we got every piece of gear that we owned stolen. It was about $20,000 or $22,000 worth of gear. And I'm talking cameras, lenses, laptop, everything stolen. In the moment, I thought to myself, oh my God, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. I don't know how the hell I'm gonna get out of this situation. I'm screwed. And I didn't have insurance, and I was beating myself up about it. And I really thought that at this particular moment, this could be the end of my filmmaking career. I'm gonna have to go get a job. I don't have any equipment. One of my biggest retainer clients at the time, I'm not gonna be able to produce this content for. After I calmed myself down, I took a minute and I acted fast. I called a rental company. I rented all the gear that I needed to produce the project. I got the project produced. They loved the content that we ended up shooting. I went back home and I started getting jobs little by little, and I rented gear until I could afford all my own gear again. And there was a bunch of incredible lessons that I learned from that negative experience. One of the biggest lessons that I learned from that experience was perseverance. If you really look at something and say, I am not going to fail, I'm going to figure this out one way or another, and you're able to persevere from that, that's a huge confidence booster and a huge lesson to be learned that you could persevere through anything in any situation. The other really great thing that I did from that situation was start this YouTube channel, because a main driver of this YouTube channel was trying to reach out to filmmakers and just give my advice and my experience so other people didn't go through, the pitfalls that I went through as I was coming up as a filmmaker. And throughout that process, YouTube has completely changed my career in the sense of meeting really great people to work with and meeting really great, companies that have sponsored, a lot of gear that I use today. So it's been an incredible, incredible lesson. And if it wasn't for that really negative experience, who knows where I would be right now. And I'm going to be real with you guys. Being positive is infectious. Like, anytime you step on a set and you're working with a crew or you're working with talent and you're just a positive person and you're looking for solutions rather than, issues or problems, everybody is going to want to work with you. Nobody wants to work with the guy that says, oh, that can't be done. Oh, no, we can't do this. Oh, no, we can't shoot this. Nobody wants to work with that guy. I want to make that very, very clear, guys. If there's one important thing that I want to tell you for your future projects, be the positive guy, be the yes guy, be the guy that gets things done. And I promise you, everybody's going to want to work with you. Now, so far, I've been talking about a lot of mindset stuff, and I know, just kind of bear with me, but one thing that's very important to further your career is a portfolio. When you are building your portfolio, you have to understand that this is a direct representation of your artistry. So whoever you are as an artist, whatever kind of work that you're trying to get hired for, you have to make sure that your portfolio reflects that. For the past few years, I've done a lot of sports stuff. So in my portfolio, I have a lot of combat sports content. It's very easy for me to reach out to a sports company or a supplement company that sponsors a lot of athletes and show them what I've done and get a project from that, because that's been so far my body of work. That's what I've done, and that's what I'm really, really good at. So I think it's very important that you take your time. And again, like I said, even if that means hiring a crew and spending money to get this portfolio done, it's so crucial and so important. And then the next tip that I have for you guys is it's extremely important that while you're creating your portfolio, if you're a director, you're creating a director's portfolio or a director's reel. If you're a DP, you're creating a DP reel. If you're an editor, this is your editing reel. And you make sure that when you are applying to a job, you don't say that you're a jack of all trades and you could DP and you could edit and you could direct. You do not do that. And then the last thing that I would say about your portfolio is make sure, and I know this sounds obvious, but make sure you're only putting your best work in there. It has to be the best of the best. And I would say that even if your reel is only 30 to 45 seconds, if you have a banger of a reel that is incredible from start to finish and it's only 45 seconds, dude, run with that, because I promise you that'll get you a lot more work than having a longer reel that's average. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about today could be the most important thing that we talk about, and that is serving yourself. And I don't want this to come off sounding super selfish. That's not my intention at all. What I mean by serving yourself is serve the creative need and the artistic desire that you have that drives us, that got us here in the first place. Because if you're not serving that, not only are you doing an injustice to yourself, but you're doing an injustice to everyone around you and the whole world. Because as artists, as filmmakers or musicians or whatever it is that you are, if you have this burning desire to create something and you're doing job after job for clients and you're not serving that purpose, you're robbing yourself of what you came here for. Because not everybody has this burning desire to create something. Not everybody has that. And what I've realized over the years that has served me really well is that you have to look at your passion projects or anything that you have a desire to work on as an investment in yourself. It's an investment in your happiness, which will ultimately serve your creativity and your productivity as an artist. And a lot of the times as artists, we don't put a value on this when in fact, this is the highest value that we have as an artist. So my final advice for you guys is make sure you take a minute and set aside time for that. Make sure you take every month or every quarter, you're working on a passion project. And even if it's just a 30 or 60 second piece, at least you're creating something that really truly means something to you. And it's not for money and it's not to, further your career. It's just to fulfill that desire to create that you have. And looking back after a few years of doing that, you're going to have a lot of work and you're going to be able to build your portfolio full of things that you're really, truly proud of. I want to take a second and thank you guys so much for stopping in and hanging out and talking about these mindset and habit things that have really been a huge help to me in my career for the last decade. And yeah, man, I'm so grateful to be able to have this YouTube channel and this platform to be able to talk to all of you guys. And I just want to let you guys know that you guys can comment down below or, reach out to me on Instagram and talk to me about anything, man. If you got something going on and you want some advice, dude, I'm so here for you, because I remember there was points in my career where I was really in a dark spot and I could have used somebody to give me a little positivity or shed a little light on something that could have helped me out. So I just want to say thank you again, guys, so much for stopping in and hanging out. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Deuces.